Alright, so for 39, if sine of A equals 5/13 and cosine of A is less than 0. So we have to look at the information that's given, and notice 5/13 is not a common ratio that we know. So this one we cannot use our unit circle. We're actually going to have to set up a triangle. So when we set up a triangle, we know that when cosine of A is negative and sine is positive, so we know the sine is positive because we have positive 5/13, cosine is negative because it's less than 0. So the only place that that happens is in the second quadrant. So we know that we're dealing with a triangle in the second quadrant. This is always the reference angle. We always draw the altitude of that triangle to the x-axis, and that becomes theta. So now sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so 5/13. We then use the Pythagorean theorem to find 12 in this case, but since it's negative on the left, we know that that's really going to be negative 12. So now I can use my formulas from my your semester exam review packet, and you know that sine of 2a is the same as 2 times the sine of a cosine of a. And now you're going to substitute. We already know what sine of a was. They told us what that was, so we put that in right there for sine of a. And cosine of a we're going to have to get from our triangle. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and notice the cosine value is negative in the second quadrant. That's where we get this negative from right here. And then 12/13, again, we just took cosine of A and we substituted that right in. Then we're going to simplify and we get negative 120 over 169. We're going to do the same thing down here. We know that cosine of 2a is equal to 1 minus 2 sine squared a. There's actually two other formulas you could use for this, but we're actually just going to go ahead and use the 1 minus 2 sine squared of a. So we're just literally going to take sine and substitute it in for 5/13, since that was already the one given. And now simplify. Squaring 5/13, multiplying it by 2, and finally subtracting it from 1 would give us 119 over 169.